Good morning. Good morning and greetings from South Africa. We are here. We've been here for a month. Excuse the echo that you hear in here. Our house is still kind of empty. We've had some awesome friends who borrowed us some furniture. And we are waiting for our shipment to come in. But I wanted to take a moment and let you know what's been going on in our space for the last month that we have been back in South Africa. And there's just been a couple of observations that I have made about our initial arrival here that I want to share with you as we make this transition. So welcome to Claire's Diary. There's not going to be a lot of editing of this video because my computer is still on its way. So this is going to be like a vlog style, and hopefully it will be a good insight into just one simple family's transition into a new space. So it's been a month, and you'll see behind me, I wish I could show you before and after pictures of our house. We have been just trying to make it home, lots of painting. Look at that wallpaper. I just thought to put that up because I think we are a family that loves the nations, and we made this transition back into this nation of South Africa, and I think it's going to be interesting to see and observe what and be part of the building that takes place, because we all part of building in one way or the other. I have my domain primarily at home, and also in terms of outward, my creative expressions and encouraging others. My husband has his own part to play. My kids are in training. But I think we all are part of nation building, and I really hope that my friends from all around the world will come into my home and visit, and we'll have amazing time. So that is why I put that wallpaper up. But you know what? It's been interesting just touching ground, and I feel initially it was like an out-of-body experience for me. I couldn't connect to the fact that 1 minute I was in my home, in my space in America, and then the next minute I was all the way on the other side of the world. But what has really been keeping me grounded has really been I've been very deliberate with having very quiet moments to start my day. And I've really felt anchored in that, spending time with God and just feeling grounded in this new space. Everything else is very different around me except that very familiar place, and I'm really holding on to that. It's interesting coming into a place that you've been familiar with and discover that it's no longer familiar, because obviously I think I've changed, and I also respect the fact that people have changed as well. So initial thoughts for me are three things. Number one, I'm going to give a lot of room and grace to discover all the changes that have taken place in this space while I've been away. I don't like this white patch. I'm going to go a bit backwards. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to give a bit of space to discover the changes that have taken place while I've been away, and really not to be critical. There's a lot that can easily frustrate me. Driving has changed. It is not pleasant to be so aware of how people are breaking laws, and oh gosh, taxi drivers, my husband has already had someone drive into his back, so that's not been fun. It's easy to come into a place and be very critical of the things you don't like, and I'm really holding myself back from doing that. Instead, I'm adopting the attitude of having new lenses to view the space, discover the things I love about it, celebrate the things that I really appreciate. I have a page on Facebook called Celebrate Pretoria, which is a deliberate attempt to kind of find things that are worth celebrating in this space. And then to just really honor and respect the fact that people that are my friends and places and circumstances have changed. And so I'm giving myself the space to discover those changes, and also to realize that I've also changed, and to give myself the space to just feel out what that looks like in the space. I think it's one thing to have all these changes take place in a space that was just mine, and then to bring that back into a space that is shared in some ways. The second thing that I am really tuning into is to not make too many commitments to start off with, and to create expectations for my time and my energy. And so I am really declining and say, thank you so much for that suggestion. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because I know that I just need the time. We need the time and space as a family to just figure ourselves out. So that's the second thing that we are being intentional about. The other thing has been all the financial decisions that we have made coming into the space. Before we moved, we really had some solid ideas about what we want our lives to look like. We've been following Dave Ramsey, not James, Dave Ramsey's principles on managing finances so that you are stewarding well and you living like what he says is live like no one else so that later you can live like no one else. We've had a lot of costs going into coming, obviously renovating costs, the cost of the admin and administration of our lives again. And so all of those little unexpected things cost money. But what really has helped us is that we made some prior decisions before we came on things like, what are we going to spend? What are we going to budget on a car, for example? And we set really clear parameters. Obviously, they're flexible enough to allow for unexpected costs. But we have put into place our weekly financial gathering meetings for my husband and I, just to regather, recalibrate, because things can really slip out of your hands very quickly as you make a transition. So we have been very intentional about on the financial aspect of things, the prior decisions that we made, the goals we set around how we want to live. And all of those things are really helping us navigate this transition. And it's very important. I think it's a huge benefit that before you move to a new space or you make that transition, to decide the parameters of your time and your finances before you come into the space. Obviously things change, but at least the goals that you've set and you have in mind will kind of help you set those guardrails for you. So those are the first three things that have been happening in my space. We've been renovating, we've been, wait, I'm recording. Hang on.
Do you know where my iPad is?
I know where it is. Show you where it is in 2 minutes.
So what?
This is what happens when you're recording ad-lib, shaking my hands. But yeah, those are the three things that have been happening in my space. Just taking a moment to respect the changes that have happened, to observe them and to have new lenses for the space, to not be critical. Secondly, to steward time and expectations, say no, I'll get back to you on that. And then thirdly, having our financial sort of guardrails to steward us in this transition. I think these three things are things that I'm going to hold on to and anchor myself in as the kettle boils behind me. Thanks for joining me on Clairside's Diary. I will be sharing more and more of just how I am creating life here, cultivating it, stewarding my time, stewarding my resources, and just, I think, cultivating vibrant living in this space. So I'm happy to share that with you. I hope it's inspiring and encouraging. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again here on Clairside's Diary. Bye-bye.